Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're talking about the Dior summer collection, Dior Riviera. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As you may know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is a one-on-one Zoom chat with me. So if ever you've purchased makeup and you can't quite seem to make it work for you, that is the perfect occasion to book a session. So go ahead and click the link in the description box down below. All right, summer 2022, Dior Riviera. Let's look at the marketing campaign for this collection. It is beautiful. It is giving me Mediterranean sun, Riviera, golden bronzed goddess. Very beautiful, very pretty. At first, when this collection came out, when I saw the promo photos, I was like, more of the same from Dior for their summer collections. But as time went on, there was something just sort of that kept piquing my interest. So I went ahead and picked up 2 items from this release because it is extensive. It's a classic collection from Dior. So we have 2 eyeshadow palettes, lots of lip products like lip care products, lip tint products, nail polish, bronzers, highlighters, it's the whole shebang. I went with 2 items because there were certain items that I already own. For example, the bronzers that are released with this collection here. The packaging is gorgeous, very stunning and limited edition, but the actual bronzer itself, I already own, so I didn't want to repurchase it. And the highlighters, to me, they look a little bit different, but they also look very similar. And I have some highlighters from Dior that I really love, so I'm going to stick with that. So let's talk about what I actually picked up. I picked up one of the eyeshadow palettes. I picked up number 479 Bayadère. If I am not mistaken, there is a bag from Dior named Bayadère. And perhaps it's just the most luxurious, very extra beach bag on the market. Trust me, I have seen it. There are people who take their designer bags as a beach bag. I am not that person, but some people do. This is the palette here. So from the swatches, you can see that there are some lovely daytime everyday shades, like a gorgeous peachy color, a nice champagne, a really beautiful gold, and then we go into more of like a classic brown, and then this deeper, more matte burnt orange brown color, like a sienna or maybe like a terracotta brown. I just think that this palette has a really beautiful harmony of finishes where you have more high shine satin, but nothing sparkly, not a chunky glitter, just like a beautiful satin finish, and then also matte. There's a beautiful collection here. And at first I wasn't certain. I was like, I probably have some of these colors in my collection, but something just called my name. So today we're going to play with this. And then they also have a new lip series out. These are the Dior Addict Lip Tint. So this is supposed to be a hydrating color tint, transfer proof, bare lip sensation. That is quite a mouthful. So they have this entire series here of this lip tint. And I picked up the shade called number 641 Natural Red Tangerine. I love orange. I love orangey reds for lips for the summer. I just think that they look really flattering and very summer to me. And so that's why I went with this color here. But they have a lot of other shades that now I'm thinking I want as well. They have more berry, more nude, like rosewood, Your Lip But Better. They have lip oils as well. I actually skipped the lip oils from this collection because I have quite a few already that I'm trying to use up, but they have lip oils in this series. They look really gorgeous. So there actually is quite a bit to choose from and just sort of picking what you want. And I ordered my collection through Selfridges, which is a UK-based retailer. And when I ordered from Selfridges, there are no extra duties. Like you pay shipping and handling up front, but there's no extra payment at the door, which is nice. So I know many of you would be asking that question. So for today, we're just going to go ahead and play with this gorgeous palette here, create something. Maybe I'll do 2 separate eye looks. One eye, very like natural, very subtle, and maybe one that's a bit darker and just more intense, just to play with all the colors, because just because you have 5 shadows does not mean you should use all 5 on one eye at once. So let's go ahead and start with the light eye look. I'm going into this beautiful color here. It's so pretty. I'm actually going to go ahead and use one of the sponge tip applicators that came with the palette. These are good to transfer color onto the lid, and I have primed my eyelids off camera. I use the NARS eyeshadow primer. So this is just a quick swipe, and this shade here is just the light peachy color of your dreams. It's just so pretty. I think it's so flattering. That barely took any work whatsoever. Those sponges are great if you want to transfer color. They're not good for blending, but if all you want to do is take color A and transfer it to point B, that's perfect. Now, I'm also going to use one of the little brushes that came with the palette here, and I'm going into this color here. So this is the classic brown color. This is also a satin, it's not matte. I think the only matte is this color here. So using this, I'm placing it in the outer, like in the crease here. I'm just placing it here, and then I will use a separate brush to blend. And I'm also going to place it right here on the outside. Using a Forever 16, I'm just using this to blend both colors together. And this is great just to make sure that you don't have like a stark line of eyeshadow, just to blend them out very nicely and softly together. And then using the same little applicator from the palette, I'm going to sweep this on the bottom lashes here. I'm just going into that second brown color here. So this would definitely be more of like your easy daytime office type of look here. Very simple, very pretty, very elegant and put together. I want to put something on my lips here as like lip care. I forgot to do it earlier. This is one of the Dior lip glows. I have the shade 04 Coral because I'm going to go for a more orangey coral color. So this is the 04 Coral. These are like lip revivers. These lip glows, they do not have the plumping sensation. That is the lip maximizers. So these are just very nourishing, hydrating lip balms that have a little bit of tint to it. So I went with the coral for today's look, and as luck would have it, for the eyeliner today, I don't have a liner from Dior that I want, because the ones that I have from the brand tend to be very colorful, and I want something more classic. So I'm actually going into one from Sisley. This is the new Phyto waterproof kohl liner. This is number 2 matte Tonka. It's like a beautiful matte chocolate brown, and I'm going to just add a little bit on top and also on the bottom lash line as well. And then for the mascara, I'm going into my Pump and Volume in the classic black. So this is neat. You can just go ahead and have a very luxurious squeeze toy here just to add more product on the brush. Okay, so this is our simple and sweet look. Let's go for something a bit spicier and maybe a bit darker. I'm actually going to go back into this color here, the brown, and I'm going to use a Forever 02, and we're just going to pack the brush here, and we're going to place this all over the lid. This is the exact same quality as the other palettes. Very buttery, very easy to blend, very smooth. They make such great eyeshadows. It's kind of infuriating when it's harder to find here in Canada. Now I'm going into this matte color here on a, I guess like a tapered brush like this, and make sure to knock off the excess. And this is going to go into the crease here, just to deepen it up and make it a bit more dramatic. Whatever is left on this brush here, you can just sweep it under the bottom lashes. And this is a Forever 13. So it's really good if you want to add color in the crease here, because you can use it to blend, but also to apply color very precisely. Now, using a separate brush, this is the Refer 28. I'm going into this middle shade here, the beautiful gold, and I'm just going to pack it on here. And I'm going to press this in the center of the eye here. I have more that I want to do to this eye, but I need to wait until my complexion is done. So let's go ahead and skip to that. So before I go any further, the nail polish that I'm wearing is Dior. It's number 536 Orange Sienna. I believe this came out a couple years ago. Now, unfortunately, when I order through Selfridges, nail polish is considered like hazardous or something. Like you can't order it overseas for some reason, so I wasn't able to get any of the nail colors from this collection yet anyway. Knock on wood, it comes to Canada. But if you think of Hermès, like their nail polish collection, if you think of their classic, I think it's number 33, Boîte Orange. It's the orange box color itself, like the orange from Hermès. I think this would actually be very close to that. So if you're looking for a dupe for this color here, I think the Hermès Boîte Orange or orange box would be good for you. For the foundation, I'm going into my Dior Forever Skin Glow foundation. This is a pretty nice medium coverage, like light to medium. It's definitely not like a sheer wash of color. It's more, yeah, it's a light to medium. And I'm using a Sephora brand brush. This is the 56. This is one of my favorite, if not my only like top favorite foundation brush. I just think it's really nice to disperse and blend color really nicely and quickly. And for the concealer, I am using my Dior Forever Skin Correct. I don't know why I insist on keeping it in the box, but I do. This is the concealer here. It's actually a really good product. You get way too much, so I sort of scrape it a little bit. You can also use this as a corrector. So you could actually do like a full face with this product here if you wanted to, if you didn't want to use like a regular foundation. This could be your foundation and concealer 2-in-1. Oh, and for those of you who are wondering, this shirt is from The Gap, I think. Yep, The Gap. It's a big, oversized button-up shirt. I'm wearing a medium, but if I wanted it to be like an actual shirt, I would go down another size, which is great. But it's more meant to be like oversized. So for me, I bought this because I want to use this as a layer in the summer, you know, like under like a white t-shirt, but it's really beautiful as a button down, and I love this color. I think this color is really trendy right now, which is great because it was popular several years ago and I didn't get enough pieces in this shade. But if you go to Zara, all you see is this color, which I'm very happy about. So now that the foundation and concealer are done, let's go back into this palette here. Going into this top pearlescent color here with a very fine pencil brush. This is the Refer 03. I am going to place this in the inner waterline? No, the inner corner of the eye here. Again, I'm going to cheat with eyeliner, but this time I'm going in with a big Betrayal. I'm going into Chanel. How shocking. And I'm going to use the waterproof black liner 88, and I'm going to just add it to the waterline here. And then I'm going back into my Pump and Brow from Dior to top off the mascara. Okay, let's skip back to the complexion just to finish everything off. I'm going into my Dior Backstage Powder No Powder number 3N. This is a fabulous face powder if you have dry, dehydrated skin, mature skin. If you have oily skin, this is probably not for you because it offers no real mattification effect. It's just like a beautiful blurring powder. It's very soft. It's very almost like hydrating too, because it's like a gel powder with lots of water. So again, if you're looking for a mattifying powder, not for you. Now for the bronzer, I'm going into my Dior Forever Bronze. I have the shade 05 Warm Bronze, and this is the one that I saw in the collection again, but it had a different pattern, part of the Bayadère pattern. So I just stuck to my classic one that came out because I just don't see the point in like purchasing a bronzer. Like I haven't hit pan anywhere near, so it just made no sense for me to get this one again. I'm going into my Refer 04. This is great if for bronzing, for any contouring. It's just like it fits perfectly in the cheek. So again, this is the number 05 bronzer here. I think there were two shades of bronzer, like a 04 and 05. They're good bronzers, but I just didn't need a new one right away. But I'm definitely appreciating bronzer way more now. I wasn't always a bronzer girl, but now I am. I get it. For the blush, I'm going into the Backstage collection again. I love the Backstage collection from Dior. It's really nice. And this is the Rosy Glow 004 Coral. This is clearly the color family. We're going into the corals today. I love this. Often this sells out on the Sephora, but also the Dior website. So just make sure you're signed up to get a notification whenever it comes back, because it's definitely worth getting. I actually own both the coral and the pinky color. I think they're both great. I like the coral a lot more for summer if I'm doing like a bronzed J-Lo goddess type of vibe, but the coral, or the pink one too, is also really pretty. I think they're both great. I wish they would extend that shade range for the Backstage Glow blushes because they're really lovely. Now let's go into the lip tint. I'm just going to take off a little bit of the excess lip glow here that I put on before. Where is it? Oh, the Color Reviver. I didn't add any more. It's just like this glossy and hydrated from the first swipe. So it's really a great product, but I just want to take off a little bit of the moisture. Again, this is number 641 Natural Red Tangerine. Okay, so this is the lip tint here. I love it. I think it's like a gorgeous combination of a lip tint, but it has a glossy finish. And I'll insert a clip here of when I did the swatch yesterday. This stains so much. Like it stains so fast. Like the second you swipe it on, your skin is stained. Like it's going to linger for hours. And this was with makeup remover that I used. I don't think I used waterproof, or maybe I did. Like I used a makeup remover and there was still stripes on the back of my hand. So as far as the staying power, it's very long wearing. You definitely get color payoff. The glossiness stays for a bit, but it kind of dissipates, but it kind of looks glossier than it feels. You could go ahead and add a lip oil if you wanted to, a lip maximizer, or the lip glow. I think maybe I would go in with the lip glow because these have a lot of moisture and hydration that lasts a long time. And so this to me, I think is a great product, especially with mask wearing off and on. You could wear this, maybe just like dampen it down a bit, like with like a tissue, just to get rid of any wetness, and it's going to stay all day. It's going to last you a very, very long time. So if you're looking for almost like a base color, something to just enhance whatever color you want to wear and just make it last all day, I think these lip tints are great. And again, they have like a wide range of colors. You don't have to go for a tangerine color. I did because I love this type of color. Now for the eyeshadow, there's a palette I have in mind that I think might be a cousin. It's Tom Ford Suspicion. This is the palette that I mentioned. I'm gonna do some swatches side by side. The only reason I said that they might be cousins is because they both give me like a warm J-Lo goddess type of look. But now that I took it out, there's only one shade in particular, like this center gold shade I think is the only one that might be sort of close to this. And now that I've swatched it, it's not at all close whatsoever. So Dior is on top and then Tom Ford is on the bottom. Listen, if you have suspicion and you still like this type of color family, go ahead and get Bayadère, because you're not going to get like buyer's remorse where you have like the exact same palette twice. These are very different. There's not really any similarities. Like, no, like you can see where some colors may have started off similarly, but they deviate a lot. And Tom Ford is all satin shimmer, whereas the Bayadère is like a combination of satin and also matte as well. So overall, let's do an examination of both eye looks. So I gave you one for like everyday office type of vibe, and then one that's more dramatic, maybe more of an evening look. I think they both look great. Let me know which side you prefer. Do you prefer A or B? I think it just depends on your mood. I think both are really lovely. It's just going to depend how you want to use your palette in that moment, in, you know, whatever whim you're feeling. But vote down below. Vote on A or B. I would love to hear your comments down below. As far as the palette goes, listen, I think it's the exact same quality that we've known to love and appreciate from Dior. The opacity, blendability, creaminess, like it's exactly the color here. You transfer it, it's perfect. Sometimes with these palettes, they have like one topper shade that's not spectacular, but this one here, it's just as creamy and pearlescent as the other colors. So unfortunately, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's gorgeous. Sometimes with the Dior summer collections, I find that they tend to be repetitive, like a lot of browns and golds, but something about this palette here, I think it's this peachy color and almost this like terracotta color. There's something a little bit different than before that I'm very happy that I got, and I'm very happy to use this in the summer months. And the lip tint, I think, is gorgeous. It still feels moisturizing. It feels glossy, even though I know it's going to dry down. It doesn't feel dry, but I love the color. I love the wear, like it's so long wearing. So like both products that I got, I definitely curated my Dior summer collection because I actually owned, like, you know, the bronzer. I didn't need a bronzer. Oh, I forgot to add highlighter. But yeah, both products are great. I think they're wonderful. Let me go ahead and add a bit of bronzer. I'm using my Backstage bronzer. This is the original highlighter that came out. This is 001, and I'm going into the gold shade here. No, that's the blush. This one up here, the gold highlighter. It's the one that is the most used in the palette, and I'm using a BK Beauty brush 108. Now I am ready for the Mediterranean. I am ready for the Riviera, the sun. Ooh, I want to be like on a beachside rooftop terrace at the sunset with like a glass of like something light and bubbly and have all the little snacks. That is what I'm manifesting for the future. And before we can finish the look, we have to go into a fragrance. I'm going to go into the Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. It's a classic for a reason. My favorite version of this has been sadly discontinued. I loved the Miss Chérie from like 2008, 2009, 2010. My first heartbreak was when they discontinued that fragrance. It's a very feminine, floral, sweet, a little bit of patchouli, a little bit of jasmine. There are some peach notes. It's a little bit powdery. It's just like a great scent. It's a classic, very feminine perfume for a reason. So if you haven't tried Miss Dior Eau de Parfum, I encourage you to try it. If you like the Chanel Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum, you would like this as well. So on that note, I think this is today's video. I think I've made my sentiments clear. I love both items that I picked up. I think they're great. You know, whenever these collections come out, you can feel free to like mix and match and create your own. Like if you want to buy everything, by all means go ahead, but don't feel the pressure to do so. You can sort of mix and match and do like a little pick and mix with what you own and create something a little bit more original. If you're new to my channel, I talk about nothing but luxury makeup. I love Dior, I love Chanel, I love Sisley, I love lots of other luxury brands. So I highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video, because I create a lot of tutorials and get ready with me where I reuse a lot of products. So if you want more tutorials and more inspiration on how to use this palette, make sure you're subscribed. So on that note, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.